Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I have a mock showcase for you on my latest build. It's actually a lot of fun to build. I've actually had it built since October last year. I just didn't end up taking any pictures for it until later on, just because I wanted to get some good lighting and all that, etc. So yeah, but this is what we got so far. So I'm going to show you guys some of the techniques and just the different things that I went about with doing this build. So yeah. So first off, we start off with the story, I suppose. So basically, this is Kamino, and Kamino has basically been invaded by the Separatists. Separatists want to blow up Kamino for strategic battle reasons. So here we can see a depiction of a P1 clone trooper with his not custom, but just lavender style of arms, and a regular battle droid underneath the waves of Kamino. So basically pretend that this is, Kamino, like a structure, and this tube is going to be like, say, if it were bigger size, this could like hold some figures or something like that. So it's like, it could also be like a transportation device or something like that. So yeah, but I wanted to basically depict the different like vegetation and stuff and use some different techniques that I haven't used before for this build, or ones I have used but just try to improve on those. So yeah, so with that being said, I want to go ahead and show you guys how I built the water as well as the structure for this column here. So for this column, I basically wanted to go around a basic structure of almost like a hexagon or octagon shape, more of a hexagon shape. But yeah, so basically just kind of the different, not techniques, but different things that I implemented were this piece here, or these two little clear pieces here. I thought they were pretty cool to use, as well as these, which I have a couple of them. I just thought would add a little bit more. So yeah, and then I thought about using some different pieces here to show, like, it could have been a tube for like put a little steering wheel here, that way clones could get in, but I digress. And then for the water, I actually used quite a lot of these boat tile pieces, as you can tell. It's not the most structural, technique, well, considering it's pretty heavy, but basically just using some 1x1 tiles, a lot of 1x1 plates, and the boat tiles in trans clear as well. So it's pretty simple and it works pretty effectively, I think. With this technique, I had to do it about 2 or 3 times just to get it right, and it turned out good. So yeah, but we'll get into the internal structure of this build. Alright, so I've got it kind of deconstructed with what I did exactly for this. Now it's a little bit more complicated, but I basically used Travis bricks. These are actual Travis bricks, not the ones with the 2 studs on the side. And I will show you how I basically implemented those so that the other studs weren't showing. But I also implemented these snot bricks here, the 2x2 version, and then the 1x2 with 4 studs on the side, that one, and then just regular plates, as well as, I wanted to try to include some, dark gray pieces, just to add that, extra layer of wear and tear from like being under the ocean floor. Or underneath the waves, as well as some other details. But I think I seem to do a pretty good job with that. But I will go ahead and kind of show you guys. I've seen this is an older technique, but it is one that I have not really used in the past, but I found it the most effective. So I'll end up showing you guys that now. Okay, so now you can kind of see the inside of this, but it's a little bit hollow. But so basically what I did here was I used, should have used some different pieces, but I digress. Use these 1x1 with a pin, or with a hole in it, Technic pieces, and the Travis brick, so it hid it, as well as made some extra stability for the structure itself. Because the only reason I used these actually was because I didn't have any of the 2x2 version on hand, which I need to get my hands on at some point. But yeah, so you can kind of tell what other pieces I used. I wanted to use smaller pieces instead of bigger pieces. It kind of all depended where, as well as like some of these ingots here. I did that every once in a while, I believe. Yes. Yeah, as well as these 1x2 tiles and plates and such, which you can also do with bricks too. But I will have to show you guys how to do that at a later date. But yeah, so that is it for this structure here. So after that, we'll just get onto the actual terrain and how I went about doing that. All right, so we're on to the actual terrain of the build. Just take some of these figures off. As you can tell, I kind of, again, use red filler, as well as these little DC minifig pieces. I have quite a few of, and the stamp piece here to keep it in place. Little stud reversal basically, to keep the figure in place. So I thought that was kind of cool. So there's that. And then I did the same thing with the droid as well. So yeah, a little simple Chima trans orange crystal piece. Thought that was kind of interesting. I also wanted to use these pieces, which have not used these in this way before, but this was these are parts I had from a parts draft for you guess it, Hidden Side set from a while back, and I just wanted to make sure these were like used in a interesting way. If you think about it, it kind of looks like a fish, so, or could be anything else. But yeah, and again, I used these pieces to keep them in place. I could have used some other ones, but I did not. So, because I wanted to make it look like it was a school of fish or something like that. So yeah, again, I used kind of random pieces to keep them in place. Yeah, as you can tell, just random. So then these as well, these are actually from the Bricks and Minifigs, or Build a Minifig at my Lego store near me. A little clown hair basically. I just used this as coral. I thought it looked good, so I went ahead and I had 2 of them, so I went ahead and used them. And I just had a placeholder of just these light bluish gray cylinder pieces, and I thought it looked pretty good in my opinion. So yeah, now you could tell like the jumpers and stuff about all that. This is about the time that I also found a couple of lobsters on the Build Mini wall as well. So I wanted to use one at least just to show some liveliness to the bottom of the Kamino ocean floor, as well as these smoke pieces, which, you know, you have lava tubes and stuff like that at the bottom of the ocean. So I wanted to make it a little bit more lively, as well as this little vegetation here as well. So yeah, So now we'll actually get into the terrain of the build. Alright, so with everything off it, here's what you can see. This is the terrain. I was trying to implement, you know, the use of the cheese slopes in different directions and such like that. Try to different little things with the terrain. I think it worked out pretty well. So yeah, like the cheese slopes, they're stuck in there. I don't think anything can fall out. Nope, everything is just a-okay stuck in there. So yeah, but some of the different techniques I did this in one of my last builds was actually, I believe, these brackets again, the snot bricks, just to add that, you know, 1/2 inch plate gap basically, or well, to fill it out and make it seem like there's a little bit of a hill or something, I believe, something like that. So there's that. And then even with some of these other pieces here, you can kind of tell what was used. Yeah, I forgot I used one of those there. So that was like that cheese slope. So again, brackets are your friends when it comes to these types of builds, as well as, let's see if I can get this out of here. This right here, again, 2 snot bricks and just some simple not reverse, but just some simple geometry, I suppose. They're actually stuck in there pretty good. Same as with these as well. Kind of tell. There's that. And then for this, you can see there's actually, if you let's see if I can get it out of there. Yep. So again, I used the same type of piece there. So again, this can be any color, but to add that extra height as well as it for, you know, to make sense with the way the terrain is right here. So there's that. And then of course we've got the black border, which looks pretty good, I think, and clean. We got the simple snot here. Could have done some different things with some of this stuff, but I decided to go against it. This is also when I had, when I first got these as well, the dark tan quarter tile 1x1s. So that's pretty cool. So there's that. But yeah, don't know what else there is. As you can tell, there's a lot of jumper plates too. A lot of interesting pieces that were used for this build. To get the point across with the terrain and such. Yeah, see, it was just one of these brackets here. See, it was such a long ago build that was so long ago, I just don't remember what techniques I used exactly. But yeah, I thought this was a lot of fun to build. I'm actually excited to move on to the next build at some point. I guess another thing I wanted to do was make sure there was like proper layering with the these 2x2 wedge plates as well as the 3x3 versions. Just because I think it needed to add that extra level of, you know, layering, kind of like right here, as well as like the roundedness of some parts, just to, you know, make it not so jagged, because that's one thing I try to focus on in my mocks, as well as make it more organic. So there's that. Now I can actually pop out some of this stuff as well. So let me do that really quick and I'll get back to you guys. All right, so I got it apart. I forgot I used one of these bigger 16 by 16 base plates to make this build actually. So you can kind of tell what pieces I use the most of in terms of, and some other techniques as well. I tried to, with the cheese slopes, I tried to make it more natural looking in some parts, as well as too, was I tried to stick with a color scheme that made sense to me. So yeah, I actually do think this does this for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Feel free to comment as well. And I will see you guys in the next video that we do around here. So, deuces.